What's up, guys? Welcome to Primetime Poulton. I'm Mark Poulton, comic book writer, written for DC Comics, Image Comics, currently self-published. Some of my books are Graveyard Shift, Sea Dog, and Codename Kill Switch, and U.S. Assassin, and we'll talk about U.S. Assassin in a little bit. Usually on my channel, we're talking pro wrestling or we're talking comic books. Today, we're going to talk comic books with a pro wrestling spin on them. I got two books in the mail this past weekend. Both I had, I either backed or, picked them up for from one of my favorite wrestlers. But first things first, we're going to talk about Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger. I backed this on Indiegogo maybe a year ago, maybe a little longer. But this book was done by Eric Hodson and Pro Wrestling Tees. Roddy Piper is my all-time favorite pro wrestler. When I first got into wrestling, Hulkamania was running wild. Well, I was the anti-Hulkamaniac. He was feuding with Rowdy Roddy Piper, and I thought he was just the coolest guy ever. And I've loved him ever since. Followed him into movies when he was doing They Live, all his straight to DVD films like Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies or Hell Comes to Frogtown, stuff like that. I've always loved him. So when I saw there was a comic book about him, I had to get it. And this is awesome, especially if you're a wrestling fan. This was like an absolute blast. There's tons of cameos in it. Bobby the Brain Heenan makes an appearance. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tony Schiavone, Conrad Thompson, Bruce Pritchard. I was having a ball reading this. I'm so into pro wrestling, that I seek out podcasts about pro wrestling. So to see like Conrad Thompson in there with, Tony Schiavone and Bruce Pritchard was awesome. And the story is a lot of fun. Roddy Piper plays a talk show host by day and vigilante by night. So he's working for a kind of a slimy TV network exec who is actually an alien. And Roddy's cracking the case to take this guy down before he, destroys the world. It's a lot of fun. One aspect I really liked about it was Roddy's wife, Kitty, was in the comic book. And if you read Roddy's book or, just hear him talk in past interviews, you could tell he was a big family guy. So it was cool to have his wife in the story and be a part of it. This book was, officially licensed by the Roddy Piper estate, so his family was involved. And, I'm really happy I backed this. I've backed about 40 Indiegogo campaigns over the last couple of years, and this is the one that I was really looking forward to. So I'm glad I finally got it. And if you missed out on it, you can still get it, apparently. Pro Wrestling Tees is selling the extra copies on their website. It might not be up yet, but it should be up like within the next few days or week. So definitely make sure if you're a big Roddy Piper fan, you're going to want to get it. I loved it. The ending leaves it open for more stories, so I hope they do it. If they do, I'll definitely back them. And one really cool, thing about this book that I wasn't even expecting. When I heard about the book, I did a pinup. I do a line of kids' books about pro wrestling. Worked with Eddie Edwards, Cowboy James Storm. And, I did a Roddy drawing because I loved him so much. And I gave it to Eric Hodson and just crossed my fingers, hoping they would use it. And I made the back cover. So what an honor. I was, thrilled when I saw it. So definitely, even if you're not a Roddy Piper fan, but you're a Primetime Poulton fan, pick the book up. I highly recommend it. Next up, this one, it wasn't an Indiegogo. It was actually a Pro Wrestling Crate exclusive. And it's a Fig Story by Michael Kingston, who does Headlocked Comics, and the Major Wrestling Podcast guys, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, formerly known as Zack Ryder, and Kurt Hawkins. So this was announced, not really announced, it was more hinted at that it would be in Pro Wrestling Crate, a Major Wrestling Figure Podcast item. And I was thinking it was going to be like a t-shirt or something. So I have to admit, I passed on the crate that month, and I regretted it when I found out it was a comic book. Being a comic book creator, collecting comic books all my life, these are two of my favorite wrestlers. I felt like I failed them. I failed myself. I needed this book. Luckily, they put up a variant cover on their big cartel store, and usually their stuff is well, all their stuff is super limited. Hats off to them. They really know how to build a brand and build excitement about their stuff. Everything's super limited. This comic book was super limited, but I was lucky enough to snag a copy off their big cartel website. And I got it, instantly read through it, loved it. It wasn't what I was expecting. So when I heard that they were doing a Stomp in Paradise comic, I thought it was going to be like on their podcast. They do every Wednesday, they do their Fantasy Fig League, where they rebook the Attitude Era with pro wrestling figures. I know it sounds strange, but it's an amazing podcast. But in between their matches, they run a fake commercial for their show Stomp in Paradise, which is a homage to Hulk Hogan's Thunder in Paradise and the Jack Stomp figures from the '90s. And I thought it was going to be like a spoof on Thunder in Paradise, where they're on the beach solving pro wrestling crimes. But no, they are mini-sized soldiers solving action figure crimes, or helping action figures in need. In this one, there's a minty mint Brian Boulder figure stuck in the package. His owner has placed them high on the shelf. They need to free Brian Boulder before he, is never used, never gets to let it breathe and be played with or displayed without his packaging. One of the cool aspects of this, Michael Kingston used his characters from Headlocked as the action figure. So Brian Boulder's a character in Headlocked. So that was really cool. This has a real Toy Story, if you couldn't tell from the logo feel to it. I absolutely loved it. Looks like there's going to be more of these. If I had any criticism, I would be that the size of it's kind of small compared to a regular size comic, but I understand it had to fit in the pro wrestling crate. So if they do more and they're not associated with the pro wrestling crate, if they're done just as a collaboration between Michael and the major wrestling figure guys, I wouldn't mind seeing like a collected edition in standard size once they get a bunch of stories together. But otherwise, I loved it. Also came with this Zack Ryder trading card, so I appreciate them throwing in extras. The Roddy Piper book came with a sticker and a trading card too. So, when you back something or you buy something and you get something extra thrown in free, win-win, man. I absolutely love it. But anyway, those are the two books I got in. I enjoyed them so much. I wanted to share it with everyone, tell them about it. But while I have you guys here, I have a little project of my own on Indiegogo. U.S. Assassin Book 2, Enter Zero Phase. If you're a fan of 80s action films like Rambo, Commando, American Ninja, and 90s comics like this Extreme Studio stuff, or the Wildstorm universe stuff, Spawn, Pit, stuff like that, over the top action, then this is the book for you. Let's share it with everyone. There we go. So I'm going to play the video.
U.S. Assassin returns in an all-new 50-page blood-soaked graphic novel written by Mark Poulton, co-creator of Graveyard Shift, featuring artwork by rising superstar Mike McMahon. New villains unite to take on Joe Knight, a story inspired by the Raid and Bruce Lee's Game of Death. Plus, learn the secrets of Project U.S. Assassin. Who is the mysterious Sensei Steel? All this in a Book 1 reprint featuring a stunning cover by Mark Yoon. U.S. Assassin.
So there you have it, guys. U.S. Assassin, Book 2. Book 1 was released as a stretch goal to Graveyard Shift Volume 2, my other creation. We gave this to fans for free when we hit $170,000. And now this is the sequel, and it finds our super ninja, Joe Knight, in the basement of a building. And much like Bruce Lee's Game of Death or The Raid, he has to fight his way out every level, a new threat, a new villain for him to fight. Along the way, we learn about the past uh, of the U.S. Assassin Project, and that Joe Knight wasn't the only U.S. assassin. There was another one, and this man is responsible for this challenge, this exercise that Joe is going through, and his name is Zero Face. We met him at the end of Volume 1, so we're bringing him back, bringing another villain, Slither, which was co-created by my son Chase. So this book's a lot of fun, over-the-top action, bunch of violence, all the good stuff that we all enjoyed from comic books back in the day. Here's some of the artwork. This is the cover to book 2. It's a play off an issue of G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe issue 26, I believe, which had the Snake Eyes origin. And this is kind of Joe Knight's origin. So, we paid homage to that cover. Here's one of our variant covers by Kevin Sharp, fantastic artist. Then we have a wraparound cover by Cedric Nacon. Some of the interior artwork, awesome colors by Oliver Lee Arce. New characters like Dr. Splosh, Sensei Steel, returning favorites like Slither. We have if you missed out on book 1, we have a reprint featuring a Spider-Man homage cover by Mark Yoon. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. We have a 24 by 36 inch poster for retailers. And anyone who backs within the first 60 days of the campaign, they're eligible to win the original artwork to the cover of book 2. Mike McMahon, my collaborator and co-creator on U.S. Assassin, was nice enough to donate this to the campaign, and we're going to give it away at 3 a.m. on election night, the closing of our campaign. One lucky backer, we're going to pick a number randomly, and they're going to win this artwork. Mike's going to send it off to them. Some of the reward tiers, we have our featured tier for $75. You get the book 1 reprint featuring that Spider-Man cover, book 2, and a sketch from Mike McMahon, all for $75. That's an absolute steal. If you don't want to go all in, but you already have book 1, you can get book 2 for $25. All the books come signed by me. If you're new to this and you just want to dip your toe, you don't want to go all in on U.S. Assassin, but you want to see where it starts, you can get the book 1 reprint with that Spider-Man homage cover for $25. Our variant covers to book 2, both Kevin Sharp and Cedric Nacon, those covers are $25 each. And they're also add-ons. If you see another tier that you like and they're not included, you can just add them on for $25 each. We got the Spider-Man homage t-shirt for $25. You can get 2 copies of book 2, one to read, one to save, or one for you and one for a friend. For $40, you save $10 there. You can get the action pack. That's the book 1 reprint and book 2 for $50. The triple threat, we still have some remaining copies of the first printing of volume 1. You get that, the reprint, and book 2 for $75. The Patriot pack, it's all 3 of those books, plus a sketch from Mike McMahon for $100. And then the U.S. Assassin Foot Locker for $200. This is like the coolest reward we have. It's this awesome G.I. Joe style collector's box. Inside comes all 5 books, an exclusive trading card, a print, and not only a sketch from Mike McMahon, but a sketch from me. I draw, in case you haven't noticed, I do children's books. I also do some, regular comic book work. I've done some covers, some interiors. Speaking of which, I did interiors for Michael Kingston's Headlocked comic. I did the interior artwork for stories by Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, as well as WWE superstar AJ Styles. I was lucky enough to be the artist on their stories that they've contributed to Headlocked over the years. And then finally, $300, our retailer pack. you'll get 10 copies of the book 1 reprint, 10 copies of book 2, a bunch of promo items for your store to help sell these books, as well as this awesome 24 by 36-inch poster to hang in your store to proudly show that you guys do sell US Assassin. Now, you don't have to be a retailer to get this. If you want 10 copies of book 1 and book 2, maybe you have 9 friends. I'm going to have this book fulfilled by Christmas, hopefully, so you can give 9 friends the gift of US Assassin. I can't think of a better gift out there. And then you can keep that awesome poster for yourself. So there you have it, guys. If you're looking for awesome over-the-top action comics, the kind you used to read when you were a kid, this is it, man. I poured my heart and soul into this book. It's these type of comics are a passion to me. You see the heavy G.I. Joe influences in it. G.I. Joe was, the comic that got me into comic books. I call it the gateway comic. G.I. Joe was the first book I ever read. I absolutely loved it. My mom bought me a subscription to it. And from there, I discovered other books like X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, but it all started with G.I. Joe. Now I'm paying it forward. I'm creating my own G.I. Joe, hopefully to attract some first-time fans to comics, man. But Mike McMahon and I, we have big things in store for US Assassin. And it all starts here with Volume 2. Volume 2, the ending of this huge cliffhanger. It leads into Volume 3. Volume 3 is going to be insane. We got some, A-list talent involved. And we're also, much like G.I. Joe had Sergeant Slaughter or William the Refrigerator Perry, we're going to introduce a new member of the US Assassin team. And he's a real person. And if you know me and know my, my likes and stuff, you're going to know who this person is. There might even be some clues behind me on the shelf. Got to look closely though. But yeah, we're going to announce all that in December. We're going to announce the talent working on Volume 3. We're going to announce who the new member of US Assassin is, the team. Who is this real life celebrity that's going to become a character in our comic book. You're going to have to wait till December when we launch the mailing list and make the big announcement. But that's it for US Assassin, guys. And that's it for this live stream. It was just short. I just wanted to highlight a couple books I got that I absolutely loved. I'm going to just show them one more time. This is Fig Story by Headlocked Comic and the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast guys, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. I think this is sold out. Everything these guys release sell out. If you're lucky, they might have a couple remaining copies on their Big Cartel site. If not, you're going to have to go to eBay to get this and pay a premium price. But, it's worth it. It's a great story. It's fun. And if you're a collector like me, you need it in your collection. And then Kilted Avenger, the Rowdy Roddy Piper graphic novel. This was awesome. So much fun. I absolutely loved it. Cameo appearances by Bobby the Brain Heenan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Tony Schiavone, Bruce Pritchard, and Conrad Thompson. Man, this was so much fun to read. I read it once. I've been flipping through the book so many times afterwards because I just enjoyed Eric's artwork so much. This was bought from an Indiegogo campaign, which is now closed, but the remaining copies will be on Pro Wrestling Tees. So make sure you check out Pro Wrestling Tees for your copy of the Kilted Avenger. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications, and I will see you next time on Primetime Poulton.